often feel very grateful that I learned hypnosis before becoming a parent. It allows me to bring more awareness into my parenting than I might have otherwise. Many people who seek hypnotherapy struggle with boundary issues, difficulty saying no, allowing others to cross their boundaries, or feeling they must please others in order to be loved. This seems to be a common challenge for many people today. The ages of 0 to 6 are a crucial period for shaping self-identity and subconscious beliefs. Very often, boundary issues in adulthood reflect deep subconscious patterns, many of which stem from the environment we grew up in and the parenting styles we experienced. Do you feel able to set healthy boundaries? Or do you often find yourself sacrificing and suppressing your own needs? Just to be clear, I get inspiration from my hypnosis work, but I don't have a professional background in child psychology. I'm simply a mom who wants to nurture my child's subconscious in the healthiest way I can, while learning to parent with more awareness. Here, I'd like to share my personal notes on what kind of parenting can lead to boundary struggles later in life, and what we as parents can do differently. Along the way, you might even discover the roots of your own boundary challenges. The first parenting pattern that makes it hard for children to set boundaries: when parents ignore a child's sense of autonomy. Childhood is when we begin to learn who am I, and I can have my own will. A child's no is actually part of building their boundaries and sense of self. When parents constantly make decisions for the child, ignoring their no, or respond to refusal with blame or shame to make the child comply, the child's subconscious learns, my opinions don't matter, or even, my refusal is not allowed, so saying no is dangerous. Over time, they may lose touch with what they truly want. In some families, especially in more traditional Asian families, obedience and compliance are highly valued. Authority is emphasized, mistakes are not tolerated, and there's little room to try or fail. Any misstep may be met with scolding or shaming words like, "Why are you so stupid? I've told you so many times." Children raised in this environment may internalize, "I don't know what is right, only my parents do." Constant shaming lowers self-worth, makes them afraid of mistakes or failure, and pushes them to let others decide for them. When they grow up, this often turns into weak boundaries and over-reliance on others for direction. Similarly, when parents say things like, "You cry too much, there's nothing to be afraid of," or "Stop throwing the tantrum," the child learns, "My feelings are wrong and not allowed." So, what can parents do when the task needs to get done but the child refuses? The key is to respect first, and then guide. Don't rush to deny the child's no, instead acknowledge it. "I hear that you don't want to do it right now," or "Your feelings are important." This simple step shows the child that their refusal is heard, and that's important. Then, rather than forcing compliance, offer choices. Often, children resist not the task itself, but the feeling of being controlled. If they need to put on pants before going out, offer 2 pairs to choose from. If it's time for a bath, let them choose whether they undress themselves or with mom's help. If it's time for a shot, ask whether they like to hold mom's or dad's hand, or hug their teddy bears. And if the task isn't strictly necessary, we can sometimes accept their choice while also helping them notice the outcome of that choice. Second parenting pattern, love and approval are conditional. This is a very common pattern. When children grow up being taught that I must meet certain standards or live up to my parents' expectations in order to be loved, they lose their core sense of self-worth and the ability to maintain healthy boundaries. For example, if love is given only when the child is obedient, compliant, or pleasing to adults, otherwise they are met with neglect or threats of withdrawn love. Like, "Why can't you just behave?" Or, "If you don't stop, mommy is not going to talk to you anymore." The child learns that pleasing and self-sacrifice are the price of love. When they grow up, they may struggle to say no or even lose themselves in relationships. But it's not only negative words that create conditional love. Sometimes even positive words, spoken at the wrong moment, can make love feel conditional. For example, when praise is given only when the child performs well, like, "You've been really well behaved today, mommy loves you so much. Well, you got a high score, I'm so proud of you. You are being such a good kid, mommy loves it when you are calm like this." The child learns that they must live up to expectations to be loved, and may grow into a people-pleasing personality. All of these messages tell a child's subconscious, setting boundary or saying no will make me disliked or abandoned. Or to keep love, I have to give up my boundaries. So, what can we do as parents? The wisdom of parenting lies in separating love from behavior. I'm worthy of love simply because I exist. And my behavior needs improvement. These are two different things. When praising, avoid making it feel like love depends on the child being a certain way. Instead, remember to often bring the focus back to the child's inner experience. How do you feel? Do you like it? Not just what they did on the outside. The third parenting pattern is shifting emotional responsibility. As parents, do you ever catch yourself saying things like, "You made me so sad," or "You made me so upset"? On the surface, these statements express the parent's feelings, but in reality, they blur boundaries by shifting emotion responsibilities onto the child, implying that the child is responsible for the parent's emotions. A child might internalize messages like, "Mom's happiness or sadness depends on me." These can turn into beliefs such as, "If I'm not good, mom will be upset, so I must be the bad kid." Or, "To keep mom from feeling hurt, I have to suppress my own needs." Over time, they develop the habit of putting others' emotions first and their own last. The child's subconscious might learn, "Other people's feelings are more important than mine, and I can't let anyone down." Or, saying no means hurting someone else. This is often the root of people-pleasing behavior. Each of us is responsible for our own actions and emotions. When we feel a strong emotion, it often reflects an unmet need within us. So, does this mean parents can't express their feelings? We can, by following the principles of nonviolent communication: observation, feeling, need, and request. For example, you can say, "When I heard you talk back loudly just now, I felt really sad because I need respect and want to stay connected with you. Could you try saying it again in a calmer, more open way?" In this way, we can turn blaming into expressing our own needs. The next one, when parents have blurred boundaries. When parents themselves struggle with boundaries, for example, domestic violence, emotional outbursts, being overly sacrificing, like always putting others first, or failing to respect a child's privacy, like going through their belongings, forcing them to kiss or hug relatives, or scolding without warning. With all this, we are modeling unhealthy boundaries for our children. It has to start with us. We need to respect ourselves and others before we can guide our children toward healthy boundaries. For example, when my baby was about 1 year old, one day we were on a bus and a stranger thought she was cute and wanted to give her a high five. I could sense that my baby didn't trust this stranger, and honestly, I wasn't comfortable with it either. So I say to her, "This lady would like to give you a high five. Do you want to? And if you don't feel like it, that's okay too. You don't have to." In this way, she knew she could decide for herself instead of feeling pressured to please an adult. In the end, she didn't high-five the stranger. Instead, she grabbed my hand and gave me a high five. A gentle but clear way of saying no. The last one, forcing kids to share. A lot of parents feel like kids should share, and they end up forcing them to do it without asking for the child's consent. Sometimes they'll even say things like, "Don't be so selfish." But when that happens, kids may grow up not really understand what boundaries are, or they may believe that setting boundaries make me a bad or selfish person. Naturally, that makes it hard for them to know when it is okay to say no. My baby is not even 2 yet, and the place where we run into sharing the most is at the park. For example, when lots of kids want to use the swing, I try to introduce the idea of taking turns. That way, sharing doesn't feel like giving something up, but more like a smart way to make sure everyone gets to enjoy what's there. I would say, "Thanks for taking turns. See, there's only one swing, but so many kids. If you all take turns, everyone gets a chance. And you also get to try all the other different playground equipments. Isn't that great?" That's what taking turns means. When children are respected from a young age and allowed to have their own boundaries, their subconscious takes away messages like, "My needs matter. I deserve to be protected. I can say no without losing love." And as they grow, saying no won't come with guilt or fear, but will instead feel like a natural part of healthy self-boundaries. Setting boundaries teach others how to respect you, while also giving you space to love without sacrificing yourself. When I recognize my own worth, I don't need to please others just to be loved. True and healthy boundaries means respecting others and respecting myself. If you got little ones at home and this content has been helpful, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. It really makes me happy. Thank you so much for all your comments, for following this channel, and for supporting me on Patreon. You are also welcome to share which part feels hardest for you, or any other parenting patterns you've noticed that can lead to unhealthy boundaries. Let's keep learning and supporting each other on this parenting journey. In the next episode, I will be talking about what we can do as adults if we realize we struggle with boundaries, how we can start to heal ourselves. Stay tuned.